There's no easy way to say it. This team is falling apart down the stretch.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia, going to be brought to you by FanDuel. The new episode today brought to you by FanDuel. You can get $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Make sure you head over to FanDuel.com to get started. And thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen of the day, even though it's a crappy start to the day. And for being part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we talk about the Mountaineers every single day. I'm frustrated with this one. I really am. I picked this to win. I think it was there to win. You know, game time came around and they were without their 15 points per game scorer, McMillan, and I felt even better about it because then they were out of sync early, you could tell. And West Virginia just couldn't capitalize. I want to make this clear. I don't think this is a coaching thing. I think this is the players we got. And they're in a system where build around what Javon Small can do well. And what he can do well is get into the lane and kick to open shooters. And these open shooters just aren't making shots. Some of the worst shooting I've seen in a long time happened today. West Virginia lost for the sixth time this year after a win. And Texas Tech now 6-0 after losses. You know, that second half was really hard to watch at times. And I turned off the last 5 minutes for the first time this year. I actually turned off the game. I was so mad and upset because we're better than that. I don't, you know, are we better than Texas Tech? No, not out of every 10 games. We may win 2 or 3, but we damn sure should have beat Texas Tech on this day. If you'd have told me before the game, we held them to a first half score of 20 or 30, I would have said, yeah, we win this game. I picked us to win 69-64, and that was right in the route of the realm of where I thought it would be based on how our defenses played. And kudos to them. They shot well in the second half. They had a freshman of their own really, really play well. And we just could not make shots, you know. 71 is not an insurmountable score anyway. And you start to look at this team, and you know, the more things like this happen, the more I start to believe more in the you are what your record is, because the team that we had that beat those top 10 teams hasn't evolved. It hasn't. I don't want to say it hasn't improved. It just hasn't evolved. For us to win, we have to be able to play a certain way. People have caught on to that, and we don't have a change up. We don't have a second pitch. We're an Aroldis Chapman. You know, we have 105 mile an hour fastball in Javon Small, and that's really it. Amani Hansberry certainly playing well the last couple of games, but just when Toby Okani was playing well, now he's stopped playing well. And it's like we can't get any continuity amongst everybody. And this team is a bad shooting team now. Wasn't always like that this year. It is now. The numbers bear it out, and you can't really put any sugar on that. It's just it is what it is. Now, Texas Tech is a really good defensive team. I'm not taking anything away from them. They certainly bothered West Virginia, but are they better than Iowa State on defense? I don't know. I mean, it's negligible. We're able to beat them. You know, I think we're still going to get into the tournament. I still think we'll be a problem for people in these quick turnaround, you know, 1 or 2 game scenarios. But as far as this, you know, this Big 12 thing goes, we better hope we win 2 down the stretch here, because I think the committee sees as much as I do how bad this team looks now at times, and we looked lost at times today. We should have been up that first half score, any other team that was just shooting a normal percentage, let's say average, would have probably been up 42, 43 to 27 in that first half. Like we easily left 12, 15 points out there, and we were wide open on a couple of those. Javon Small missed. He had his worst game of the year shooting wise for me. And I don't know what's going on with him. I mean, he was missing things. Some of those layups and stuff that he usually makes didn't go in. A couple of the one where he hangs in the air and tries to shoot it didn't go in. His performance probably shocked me more than anybody else's. But if anybody deserves to have a bad performance, it's also him. So I'm not going to get mad at him over that. I just think, if Javon Small has a typical Javon Small game, we're probably in this game. But he didn't. And here it is. We are in this same spot because we just aren't, a great basketball team anymore this year. The first 17 games we were, the last 17 games, it looks like we're not going to be. And I don't know if we can improve. I had been hoping for the last few games that we would peak down the stretch because teams do that. I don't think we're capable at this point. I think we are what we are. And if we face a team like, Cincinnati, I think we're a tough matchup for them. I think we face teams like that, we'll be okay. If we face teams like Texas Tech or Houston that have, those crafty bigs inside that get offensive rebounds and can score on the block and open the floor and space it and shoot threes, and we're going to be in trouble, and that's what this game was. This was trouble for the West Virginia Mountaineers, and a frustrating one at that. Texas JT Toppin ended up with 20 points, and he started over 6. Christian Anderson had 21. And what a day for him. Kevin Overton really had a great first half. I thought he was going to go off on us there for a little bit. But, you look at this spacing on them. They only played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys, y'all. So it's not like you can say depth, but they're only playing 7 guys here, which they were injured. But that's what, they had Toppin go for 22. Williams went for 8. Anderson went for 21. Hawkins went for 10. Overton went for 10. So on the West Virginia side, you have Amani Hansberry, who had a great game at 14 and 11. Toby O'Connie, 2 points, 1 assist, 4 rebounds. Just inexplicable, man. Javon Small, probably one of his worst games of the year, 10, 5, and 2, which, is pretty good. It's not terrible, Jonathan Powell, 5 points. He had the 1 3 and the one fast break score there early in the game. Sincere Harris made a free throw and made a 3. KJ Tenner had the one runner in the middle of the lane. Like, it's pretty bad that I can remember the exact shots they shot. I didn't even see Andre score because it must all happen within the last 5 to 8 minutes. Yesfu, non-existent. Auer came in and had a beautiful 3. And then Elizevich, had a couple minutes there at the end, 2 minutes. There comes a time when I feel like maybe we need to play Auer more. I know he's, where it's already a disadvantage on the defensive end, but I don't know. I feel like in spots we can maybe bring him in to shoot a couple just to see if they fall. I don't know. Maybe play him 7 or 8 minutes a game, find a way to do it. I would never pretend to try to tell Darren DeVries what to do, really, but massively frustrating. And I just looking forward here. West Virginia's got to get together because literally everybody is getting butchered on the road on that Utah trip with BYU and Utah. So if you don't get this win versus TCU, I think there's a very real chance you miss the tournament, at that point, because you're at 16. You got to get to 18 to solidify it, I think. And look, there's still the Big 12 tournament. There's also a first round bye on the line here. You want that if you can. TCU, BYU, Utah, UCF, you could still finish with 20 wins, which would be remarkable after all that's happened over the last 20 days, 30 days. So it's Darren DeVries' job is going to be able to be telling these guys like, hey, we can still finish with 20 wins. We just have to beat teams we're as good as or better than. And my cat's on the chair again. Get down, honey. Get down. And so I look at it and I think, well, we're definitely she's protesting in there. Stop yelling. TCU were better than. The game we had against them, I don't even want to talk about. We lost by 5. We were better than them. I hope we stomp their guts out when they come to Morgantown on the 25th. The day after my birthday. We better win that game. BYU on the road and Utah on the road are both going to be 50-50 games, which I don't know how we're going to perform. West Virginia hasn't won back-to-back games since they beat Oklahoma State after the Kansas win, if you want to know anything. So, I mean, like, it's what the hell, like this team's very unpredictable on any given night. And so you literally have to have the TCU win. Or if you don't get that, then you got to get one of the road wins and beat UCF. And you better beat UCF. So it's not good right now. But you know what? This is the bed that they've made. They got to kind of lie in it, man. Up next on Locked On West Virginia, somebody put a list out on Heartland Sports. Somehow West Virginia's been left off of it, and it's massively disrespectful. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by FanDuel. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you miss the opening tip or if you want to be on a bet on that fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. If you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. I love using FanDuel's live betting feature because, hey, keeps every moment of the game exciting, man. And whether I'm backing my team for a late-game rally or picking a player to hit a clutch 3, I never feel like I missed my chance. Plus, the app is easy to use, and when you win, you get paid instantaneously. Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $150 in bonus bets if you win that first $5 bet. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Yes, it's segment 2. I don't have a do. I've got a Gatorade. This is healthier for me. And I'm out of Gatorade, or I'm out of Mountain Dew. So, and I don't feel like I deserve it today after this loss. I'm doing it to myself. So Heartland Sports made a list for 2025, and I was reading it and I was thinking, well, surely we'll be on here somewhere. I think people forget just how tough of a place West Virginia's Milan Puskar Stadium can be to play. The question in the article is, where are the 5 toughest Big 12 football venues to play in 2025 by Brian Clinton, who, funnily enough, I didn't even, that's so funny is I've been talking to him about coming on my show. I didn't even realize that until I just read this. That's hilarious. So that's going to be funny. I'm going to text him later and tell him I reacted to this. So anyway, if you've been around college football for any time, the home field advantage can have a big game potential. Many times the home team having the crowd at their back can be the difference in the game. And unfortunately, the advantage that it provides to the home team is not easily quantifiable. Outside of getting 3 points from Las Vegas, there's not much data to go off of. That isn't until we had developed a way to rank Big 12 venues ahead of 2025 to determine the program who have the best home field advantage next season. Let's take a look. So here is how they determine it. There's no proven way to determine the score for home field advantage, but after analyzing several historical factors, recent outcomes, and projected team strength going into the next season, we came up with a scale and algorithm that provides a score for each team. Well, this is silly. How good a team is has nothing, it has little to do with the home field advantage that the stadium's full. So at West Virginia, that's, you're going to get that stadium full inside of 5,000 people, right? You're never going to be down, if the team's really bad, you'll get down to maybe 53, 54. But generally speaking, man, the stadium's full. So I don't know how good the team is going to be really matters, but okay. And then projected team strength, historical factors. Well, if that's the recent outcomes, I can see. Historical factors, I can see. Team strength doesn't matter to me. So number one, they have BYU LaVell Edwards Stadium. I don't have too much of a problem with this, being that, that's a stadium that has that's a nice venue. It is basic get off last year and what they got coming back. I get it. If they do their formula, I can see why it's there. But I would say we're just as good, in my opinion. Kansas State being next. I think they've got a great home field. Is it West Virginia? I don't think so. I don't. Same now. Rice-Eccles Stadium is at number 3. You can make a case they should be at number 1, right? Based off what Utah's done the last 10, 15 years and just how good of a home field that is. It's also 60,000 plus, I believe. Number 4, they got Texas Tech. So I don't know, man. And then number 5, they've got Colorado, who, I get it. They've had a lot of people showing up there here lately, but to not have West Virginia the top 5 to me is a slap in the face. But it just lets me know, like, this is a sign of the times, I guess. This is where things are for us as a program. Like, people don't remember what it's like to come to Morgantown on a Friday night like they used to, or Thursday when Rich Rod was doing that, or, even on Saturday afternoons when West Virginia was really good. Things fallen off the last 6 years under Neal. And if you think West Virginia is not going to be a hot ticket this coming 2025 season, then you're sorely mistaken. I promise you that. The stadium is going to be packed. And I mean, if you look at the schedule, especially, oh my gosh, like, it lines up for an awesome home field advantage this year. And you look, Robert Morris, I mean, I feel bad for them in the first game of the year. Going on the road to Athens in week 2 is a weird one for me just to even look at. But then you've got Pitt coming September 13th. I dare anybody who made this list to come to Morgantown September 13th and tell me there are 5 better stadiums in the league than what we got. It's not going to it's just not going to happen. So that's my thoughts on it. I think our stadium is vastly underrated here. I'm going to text what's his name, Ryan, after the show and tell him so at that. So just wanted to get that segment in there. I thought it was, it was pretty funny that we're not on that list, and I'm a little frustrated by it, not going to lie. Real quick break. We'll finish this one up. Be right back, guys, on Locked On West Virginia. All right, guys. So not a lot to talk about today. Obviously, we had the basketball team go down in flames today. We talked about the stadium. From what I understand, we're going to be hearing from Rich Rod a lot here in the next couple of weeks. He's apparently, I guess they're going to have him talk to the media more often this offseason. In order to, I guess, because they're not going to be opening up to the media as often as they have in the past. like watching practice, that kind of thing, because I guess they're so worried about tampering now. So that's going to be odd, but we're going to be hearing from Rich Rod a lot. So a lot of what he says, I think we're going to have to pay attention to as far as how the team's progressing. I do think he'll be generally honest with us, even though it's probably not going to be like as detailed as some of the ones that other people have done for us. And I think it's going to be interesting, guys. I really do. So be watching for that. I might take a day off tomorrow. Sometimes you can get burnout. I think I've recorded 8 times over the last 2 days or something like that. So, and there's just not much to talk about. Like, if there's something you guys want to hear about, like I can do something historic, like top 10 games or top 10 teams or top 10 players or whatever you want. But not a lot of people watch that stuff, so they want what's going on now. I appreciate you guys for joining the 100 or so of you that did. And I know it's hard to get on here and watch me after we lost. I wasn't expecting a big turnout because like Trey said in my chat here, that sucked. I'm going to go to the store and get some stuff to cook dinner with and have a good weekend, try to make a good weekend of it anyway. I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Have a great weekend yourself. Be kind to yourself and enjoy your families and loved ones. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, guys, it's over and I'm out.